This episode is powered by Safety FM.
Welcome to the Safety Consultant Podcast. I'm your host, Sheldon Primus. This is the podcast where I teach you the business of being a safety consultant. This week, I am out on assignment. Got a job in South Florida, so I'm physically here. But I just wanted to do a nice little introduction to my two guests today, and that is going to be Ikumi and Joshua. They are the two that make up the YouTube sensational channel Primus Effect. If you had not had a chance to see the Primus Effect yet, that is Josh, who is my nephew, and it's also Ikumi, who is his girlfriend from Vietnam. She's Japanese, but they both met in Vietnam. I forgot to ask them. But either way, they are going to explain a little bit about the YouTube channels. I kind of noticed a lot of people, and I've done it myself, are on YouTube. So I figured, why not talk to some experts about this, and it's going to help us out. For your businesses, especially your safety consulting business, it's always good to have a YouTube channel. So therefore, on your YouTube channel, then you'll be able to just give a little bit more of your personality. People can see you, all the things that they've actually heard about you. Now they can see a little bit on whatever you do with your YouTube channel. So it does help add to credibility and likability. So it's a good tool. There's a lot of people in safety and health right now that are using YouTube. So I figured having Josh and Ikumi come out, and Ikumi and Josh together, they have like a whole system that they kind of work through. And not only a system for creating, but they actually plan all their shoots, and they got the art for the cover and everything. And they just really give you all the tips that you would need to have a successful channel. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to learn from the pros. They're young at this, or I should say new at this, but they have increased so much in such a little time that you guys are going to find some real value to give you some understanding about how to run a YouTube channel. So Josh and Ikumi, and then after we talk to them, I'm going to come back with a quick last minute thought.
My name is Ikumi. I was born in Japan, grew up in Japan, Australia, New Zealand, and the States. I left my family in Japan when I was 15 alone, and I studied abroad. So I lived in Vietnam for the last 8 years. I was working in hospitality mainly, and the last 3 years I became independent wellness consultant. So I was making like a retreat program for 5-star resorts and setting up spas. And yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. I mean,
how did you stumble onto that one? What was the progression to get you into consulting?
I always like to teach people. I also have experience of being an English teacher in Japan, and really I have a passion for a healthy lifestyle. And I figured, people don't really know how to live healthily. And I thought maybe I can just start teaching people how to do it.
So the help came first, and then, I could help. And then all of a sudden it creates a business.
Yeah. And it was in Vietnam. Nothing has been done yet. So it was very easy for me to start up something and be a pioneer.
Yeah.
And it works.
Excellent. How many language do you speak then? Because you might have to, for my mind, I'm thinking, if you're going to not only go to a location, but start a business, that's telling me you have some proficiency in other languages.
Well, I'm pretty good at different languages, but mainly I only speak English and Japanese.
Okay. So you understand it enough to work around the regulations?
Yeah, you have to pick up if you live in the country for so long.
Excellent. All right, Josh, tell us about yourself.
So my name is Joshua, and I've been living abroad for since 2018 October. Before I was working in medical. So I've worked in the laboratories. I've worked in a lot of departments in the hospital. So my whole background is just medical since my early 20s. And I just left all that behind. And I haven't done medical since I left the States. I've worked up into the pandemic. I was managing an NGO in the Philippines based on poverty alleviation or like psychological therapy and stuff like that.
Wow.
So I literally just did a complete life change when I left the States and not looking back at all.
Oh, okay. What's your last name, Josh?
Primus. I am a Primus. I am related to this beautiful, wonderful guy over here.
Yes, my nephew, my brother's youngest. Keeping it in the family right here. The Primus Effect is in effect.
Yes, 100%. And how Primus Effect came about, actually, the original concept of Primus Effect was supposed to be about all of the brothers, like me and all my brothers, because there's 4 of us. I'm the youngest. We're all a year apart, and we all live out of the country now. Currently, we're all in the same place in Albania, but normally we're spread out around the world. So it originally started with them, but we were all spread out. We just couldn't coordinate properly. So it snowballed and just grew into being about me and Ikumi world living and just following our journey, just living around the world, Yeah. And one of the major reasons as well was the pandemic. She was managing and designing spas. I was managing an NGO. We both lost our jobs because of the pandemic. So we're sitting in a foreign country in Sri Lanka, like we can't work here because we don't have work permits. Even if we did, the only thing we can do is hospitality and tourism, which there's zero. We can't go back to Vietnam where we live, where she was working. We can't go back to the Philippines where I was working and we were supposed to move to because every country was shut down. So we're like, what are we going to do? And then so it snowballed, Primus Effect, and we just started a YouTube channel. We're like, we're not going to go under. We're going to adapt to the new world.
Yeah.
The YouTube channel.
That's excellent. Truly, in our field, safety and health, and that's really what they've been focusing on. But the safety and health officers and people that are starting to truly get into social media and embracing it, they have been flocking to YouTube. And I'm like, what is going on? I've been doing YouTube for a while, but usually it's just like if I do a live stream or I'll post something up for a video for training or something similar to that. But I got to tell you the truth. I haven't been getting as fancy with, intros and clip art for, your thumbnail cover and all that stuff. It just seems like YouTube right now is still really big. And so is that why you guys chose YouTube?
We had no other choices.
It was just YouTube it's obviously one of the major platforms, but it's not just YouTube. When you focus solely on one business, if YouTube is that business, that's a lot of stuff. It's affiliate marketing. It's if you have a blog, you're cross promoting, it's whatever products you're selling online. If you have e-commerce business, it's your YouTube channel, it's dealing with companies for promotions. And so it's like just focusing on building YouTube is actually focusing on building like 5 different streams of income, just focusing on solely on YouTube. So, people just think, oh, YouTube, you make videos, you make money from the videos. But it is the seed to a tree that branches out fairly quickly.
Quickly as in, when did you guys get started? What was like the first one?
We started in June 2020 and we started monetizing in 6 months.
Yeah, so we were monetized in 6 months and we started already making profit. I mean, guarantee, obviously, we're not that big yet. We're still growing.
Yeah.
But we got monetized within 6 months and already started making profit from it.
YouTube changed their algorithm like maybe 2-3 years ago and then really started enforcing it or seeing the changes roughly about a year and a half ago. So has that helped or hurt you in any way? Because now I believe your threshold of having to be viewed is a little higher before you can actually get money. And I know it's, a few cents of advertising or whatever, but it always adds up. And then if there's click-through, there's probably click-through by now, I would imagine, right? Am I thinking right where that's the monetization is now clicking through watch time and then also any commercial that's attached to your video?
Yeah, all of it counts in its own way. Probably the most important thing is watch time and people actually sitting through the ads that play, even if they don't purchase anything, just sitting through the ad gets you, just the ads popping up on their screen gets you money. So it doesn't have to always end in a purchase to make profit from the videos. And since we're still new, we don't know 100% the old way that they used to do. So we're kind of unfazed by it. But also we made it a big point not to focus on just like how much money are we making or how much our watch time is. We literally just try to focus on improving the quality, the way we're filming, the way we're talking, the music. We try to stay focused more on that because YouTube is such a big platform. And anybody knows if you go on YouTube, you can find anything under the sun,
Ridiculous. You truly can find anything.
Exactly. So it's like there is billions of people that watch YouTube. So whatever you're into, there's a market for it. It's just consistency, and that's it. Consistency and time. And it will 100% do well if you're just trying to improve. And all it is, it's always about the backlog. Like we're still growing, but once we actually get bigger, the fact that we have so many videos already that have pretty decent quality, it'll make the channel even blow more.
What kind of backlog are we talking about? Because I like to do maybe 3 weeks ahead sometimes, and I'm weekly. So basically every Monday I do a new show. So I'm thinking maybe 3 weeks ahead is enough for me. Sometimes if I go too far ahead, I miss timely stories. And sometimes if I'm, like right now, I'm only 2 weeks. I got one for next week and then you guys are the week after. And so I'm a little slack there. So how long are you guys looking at with your backlog?
In reference to the backlog, when I mean backlog, I mean that once, like, say a new subscriber comes to your channel, they see your video and they like it, they subscribe, then they have all your old videos. That's what I mean by backlog. Because honestly, pretty much 80% of all of the views from our channels are non-subscribers. And it doesn't matter how big you get, at least 60% of your viewers are not subscribed.
Really?
Yeah.
So
that's why if you see our videos, we always introduce ourselves in every video, and we always tell people to subscribe, and not every few videos, do it every single one, because guaranteed 80% of people who watch the video are not subscribed. So you always have to tell people to subscribe.
Does it make a difference, the placement of that, beginning of the video, end of the video, where you place the welcome to subscribe?
We do both. We do the beginning and the end. Yeah. So why not? Sometimes people need to be told what to do. You're not, they don't be a dick about it or, push it on.
Nicely blended in.
Blended in. But when it comes to the backlog that you were referencing, we normally stay 3 weeks to a month and a half ahead of schedule.
Wow. That's pretty good.
We had a lot of things to film
on the way out
in Sri Lanka. Right now, we don't have much in Albania at the moment. We haven't really explored much. We haven't. But yeah, at the end of our stay in Sri Lanka, we had a lot to film. So like in 1 week, we filmed 3 different episodes.
why we were editing too. So we're like 5 at one time.
Yeah.
So this is it depends. But this is definitely the first time we've been this ahead. She likes it. I honestly don't like it being this far ahead because I'm not as excited when I'm editing.
Yeah.
And also like to interact with our audience.
Yeah.
So when they give us a recommendations, if we are already moved on to different location, we can't film it anymore.
Yeah.
It's nice to be like 2 weeks ahead, but you're still around.
Yeah, 2 weeks is a perfect pocket to just stay with the marker, because then you still feel the urgency to edit. You know, you still have enough time to edit properly, but you're still in the time to listen to what people are saying and what your subscribers are saying to you, so you can. And that's specifically for travel people, travel YouTubers, because we get recommendations and then we're already gone. That happens a lot. Like
we also encourage our audience to follow our Instagram because it's live. Yeah.
So then they know where you're going.
Yeah.
What about the tools? What kind of tools are you guys looking at? And I know it changes from basic to studio version, but for people who are now thinking, I could do something around my work, or I could do a little video here and there when I'm doing a project. What should they be looking for? Is it like still good where people can use your camera as in your phone as a camera, or should you get like a GoPro and everything else?
Our very first episode was filmed with my iPhone 6.
Yeah.
You can start with anything, really.
Yeah. Because that's even style, remember, right? So it's not like super professional filming is a style, but people also like that gritty filming, that just authenticity style. So, and again, remember, especially during this time, this is the perfect time for anybody to become a YouTuber if they want to, because everyone's home.
Yeah.
So it's like whatever you're doing, you're going to find some type of following more than you normally would, because a lot of people are stuck home.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Any kind of tips as into how
also,
people should talk? When you
said equipment, it depends on what you have. There is a lot of free equipment. Like if you have an Apple, it automatically comes with a program called iMovie, which we use for months.
Maybe like first 20. That's a lot.
Yeah. It was like our first 15, 20 episodes. We used the free program on iMovie. And then we upgraded to Final Cut Pro, which is extremely expensive, but you get 3 months for free. So since we both have laptops, I did the first 3 months, and when it expired, then she got it. So we got half a year for free, just, switching computers.
Yep.
Not bad. You're probably gonna end up getting the iTunes police coming at you. Say, you beat the system.
Duped them.
Yeah, but that's truly most everyone is on a budget, especially now with pandemic time. And I keep thinking, when we do the Costa Rica thing, should we invest in a drone and get a drone and all that stuff? Because we might end up doing the same thing you guys are doing in Costa Rica. So I'm thinking, maybe I don't want to go hog wild with buying stuff either.
Yeah.
Another thing is you can also purchase the drone footage online.
We want a drone so bad, but we're on a budget. That's why we first started with the iPhone, and then we upgraded to the GoPro with no attachments, literally just the GoPro in the handheld, because we couldn't even afford all the mic, the lights, and all of that. And now we have the mic and the light and everything. But drones are quite expensive, but they really up your game in a travel YouTube. So what we actually ended up doing is using Canva. Canva.com is where we make our thumbnails, but we also get drone footage off of there and put it into our into our videos as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man, my mind just blew.
Oh, you just purchase the footage from the internet.
It's like I said, YouTube is just it's a seed, and there's so many branches. Like, even if you get a lot of footage, you have drone footage. There's so many sites where you can sell your drone footage, where you can sell your videos of whatever you're getting in certain places, you know. So it's like
Photographs too.
photographs. Like it's such a hub. It's a hub. YouTube is a hub.
So you guys can monetize the picture you've taken, just basically doing it as a service for some of those. I use Crello. That's the one I use, but Canva is the same, you know. So you basically say, here's my photos, and is it by license, I would imagine, how many times they download it, or you just sell them one at a time or something?
You just get commission off it.
Yeah.
So,
But we haven't done it yet.
We haven't
We
done it.
know that you can, and we are actually purchasing those footages that's available online.
we're just strictly focusing on YouTube this year, because actually the first 2 years. This year is because it's almost over.
What?
I mean, by we almost had our YouTube channel a year now.
Ikumi, I love your reactions to him all the time. Even in the videos, you're like, what is he saying?
You know me, I'm reckless. I just say whatever's on my head immediately.
I just gotta get it.
Those are awesome. Well, I know we've done the tips, and that was one of the things I always wanted to help you. And you said raw and real is good right now, so that's great. How long should one of these safety officers are doing this, and they're thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to monetize like in a week? What's realistic? What do they have to do?
I'll tell you one thing that I have noticed. First of all, if you do want to do a YouTube channel, you get TubeBuddy. TubeBuddy is an app that helps your SEO in the background when you're like making your descriptions or your tags. So it really helps you get more views and on a wider platform. But it's so hard to call, because we make some videos, and we think they're going to do good. They don't perform well. Some videos we're like, this is boring to us. And then we play it, and then it overperforms our expectations. So that's why we say focus on your quality, focus on improving anything, how you're filming, what your equipment, what you're talking about, just always just focus on your own content, and it'll work. Some people I know monetize in a month. Some people it takes 5 months to a year. It's so different that I don't think there's a ballpark like for anybody, It's because sometimes your video might just catch on. You might put in the right wording and it just slides in some pocket and just blows up. Like, I've known people who monetized off the first video.
Wow.
But the minimum requirement for monetization is 4,000 hours of watch time and how many subscribers?
1,000.
1,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it took us...
It took us exactly 6 months.
Yeah, 6 months to get that.
So basically,
Video once a week. There most people, because we have to really plan our content. A lot of people, they're just sitting down, they're talking, or doing certain things. So if you can put out 2 videos a week or even 3, you're definitely going to flow faster than doing 1 a week like us.
And do you cross promote on like Twitch or any of the other ones with your videos or content?
Not yet.
Well, I mean, what we do, we cross promote. We have on Facebook and on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we use pretty much the trifecta social media platforms: YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. And then we just promote each video. We do promote the video before it releases on Instagram and on Facebook. We normally do it after it's released. We post on there.
Okay.
And YouTube also has its own way to promote, where you can make your own type of post, like a Facebook, and even the stories like Instagram.
Wow. Oh yeah, that's right. They just started that, didn't they?
Yeah, they just started the story. The story we can't do yet because you have to have 10,000 subscribers. But for the other thing, you have to have, I think it's like a 1,000 or something, and also you have to be in the States.
Okay. And that does make a difference. I do have an international audience. So the state, that's just basically for the YouTube state side, that requirement. So it might be a different requirement for YouTube, wherever you are, YouTube Sri Lanka.
It means everything where your views are coming from. Like say if we have the amount of views that in Sri Lanka on our channel, in the US, we would make double what the money we're making, or even triple than what we've made so far. Because I think Sri Lanka is one of the lowest, next to India, the lowest paying, it's called CPU, CPM.
Clicks per, I forgot the other one. Clicks per view, I believe. No, it's CPR. I know what you're talking about. Per minute? No,
yeah,
probably per 1,000 might be.
No, that's a rocket launcher, man. So that really makes a difference. So we're trying to, when it comes to the SEO portion of our video, we're trying to score more in like the US or the UK and places like that, because we get paid a lot more. That's another even reason why it's RPM. RPM is what it's called.
RPM, okay.
You rate per minute or something like that. So we're trying to score more. That's why another reason we were quite excited to come to Europe now, because the RPM, you actually get paid a lot more here.
CPM.
Okay, so clicks per minute or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, per million, right?
Yeah.
Per million, yeah. What about the that's the same vein as not only the monetizing side, and then the SEO, for those of you that are listening, is search engine optimization. So basically it gets you ranked a little higher on the search engines, like if there is any other than Google. There's plenty others, but everybody uses Google. So truly, when you're doing that, are you also thinking your thumbnail picture has to nail it to get someone to even click on your video? Because you got to get them to click on the video, and then you got to get them to stay. So I'm thinking thumbnail might be important. So what do you guys do for your thumbnail? What are you grabbing them with?
The thumbnail is the most important thing, honestly.
No wonder mine sucks. I have terrible thumbnails. I don't even think I have thumbnails. I just have the screenshot.
Yeah, that is the first impression. The thumbnail is the make or break, Yeah, we use Canva actually for our thumbnails. And what we really do is YouTube is your best friend in learning, We just follow a lot of YouTubers that we actually like at how they do their videos, even if they're not travel YouTubers. And we in a way mimic certain things, but with our style, because it's like being in class. When you're a YouTuber, going to class is logging on YouTube and watching videos of people you're trying to learn from,
Yeah. So, and then when you're watching any video, I'm sure you're watching how the intro is, what's the volume like, what's the background music, how are they fading in and out? Should they come from the left? Did it come from the right? What font are they using for any of the words? So you're probably dissecting every video.
Everything, because we're new to it. Honestly, the first time I ever made a video was like our 4th episode. She's made videos before, but not like professionally, so we're completely new to YouTube, making videos, trying to figure out the SEOs for like absolute beginners, So our best class is YouTube itself.
YouTube. Yeah.
That makes
sense. What's the one that Zeus has?
Skillshare.
Skillshare is, oh my gosh, wonderful. And when it comes to learning anything, not even just, YouTube, anything you want to learn, Skillshare that's a great place to go. You can specifically write in what you're looking for, and there's 20 classes.
Excellent. Do you know if that's a .com, .eu, .io?
Share.com is, yeah, you go there and you can get literally anything you need. I've learned so much on the editing side using Skillshare that it's just, it's irreplaceable stuff that I learned there.
Now, I've got some safety people on, and they are truly starting their videos, and I'm seeing a little mix of everything where they would have their thumbnail pictures of like a job site. I've seen thumbnails where it's like scantily clad people in safety, and thumbnails where it's like one of these things where you have a face that's like really crazy looking or some outrageous smirk, and then some real big words that says, "Don't get caught up with this," or something similar. Is that, all the above? Are you guys doing a little bit of everything?
We do a little bit of everything. We've switched it up quite a few times, actually. If you go to our YouTube channel and look at our thumbnails, they're all consistent with each other, but we've changed the theme of them so many times. And I still don't think that we found the perfect click-through rate. But I mean, naturally on YouTube, the click-through rate on thumbnails are like 5% to 15%. So it's naturally low. So it might throw you off and you're thinking, all right, I'm doing a bad job. But that's just how YouTube is, because there's just so much content on it. So it's always good to keep switching it up and see what really works the best. The best thing about YouTube, the back end of YouTube, is its analytics. It is extremely descriptive and breaks down every single thing. Once you have a YouTube channel and you put the analytics in, you can see what videos are performing well, where they're performing well in the video, when views started going down. It's very, it's extremely detailed. So, and you never want to really, when you upload a video, you want to give it a week or 2 weeks before you actually look at the analytics to see, because you never know. It could be off because your subscribers are watching quick, so that might make it go higher. But always remember that 80% of any viewers on any video are not subscribed. So you got to wait till your subscribers get through, and then it's just regular people on YouTube, so you can see actually is performing.
So you really don't need to look at it for like the first 2 weeks. And then all right.
That would be the best practice. The first week or two, just put it up and just let it ride and just see. Because sometimes we upload a video that does horrible in the first 3 days, and then day 4 or 5, it just blows out.
Wow.
You really never know. You really never know. That's why I always say the most important is just focus on your content. Just focus on your content.
For YouTube in particular, especially for those people who, for you guys with travel blog, you're taking probably as many videos and pictures that you can. When do you actually get to, we're relaxing now. We're actually here and we want to be part of this and we want to experience this. Put the camera down, Josh. Ikumi, not another picture out of you. And so how do you guys balance that?
We didn't really have that line when to film, when not to film. So I was kind of annoyed. Can you put that?
Yeah, she got over it.
Down?
She got over it.
But now we kind of have an idea when to film and how we want to film. We plan beforehand to get out. So
yeah.
And also we also have a plan how to do the opening of this episode, how to end the episode.
Yeah. We go, exactly what she said. We used to just go out and record, which is very hard all around on the actual, like what you said, because you're consumed with just trying to capture everything. So in the moment, you're not in the moment, but also on the editing side, it's horrific because you have no storyline. So you're trying to create a storyline in the editing process, which is just, it's horrible, so it's all around bad. So once we got a PDF file, scheduled video, schedule when we're filming, so we actually trying to get it to the point where when we go to a country, we know the first, let's say 5 episodes. And then the first week and a half we're there, we film everything. And then in the last few weeks, we're just editing and just relaxing. So scheduling is really important. Otherwise, it will, in fact, consume your life because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, you know?
Yeah, I for my podcast, I do my editing skill is to the point where I could watch the wave file of us talking, and I know right where the breaths are. I know exactly what a breath looks like in a wave file, and then I'll take that out and put a little blank in there or something. So I'm pretty breathy. You'll hear me breathe throughout any of my podcasts, and sometimes I just take a time and get rid of all the breaths, and sometimes I just I don't feel like this episode. But truly, I could zoom and just let it go, like where you can't even hear the background noise, and all I'm doing is just watching the wave file. And all right, here, this one doesn't look right. Edit, take it out. Are you guys doing the same thing? You're able to see that stuff now?
We are, but it's hard and different because we're always in noisy areas when we're editing. Always, It was actually a real problem before we got the mic because even our footsteps were loud. And, being a travel YouTuber, you're always on the move. So we always had to find these pockets of when it was going to be quiet enough to film. And, we would always get comments like people like, oh, I can't hear you, like for these parts. So, yeah, so we really got, she is the one who does all the mastering at the end. So she's gotten really good with the leveling and blending everything. Yeah. So yeah, that's her thing. I do the beginning I do the first part of like making the storyline, cutting out the music and stuff. And she comes up and does the cleanup at the end. And then we both sit down and just do the last final walkthrough. So we both have a very big hand in everything.
So every episode might be, because you guys are usually in the 15, 20 minute episode range. I'm imagining that each one of those may be about a 3-hour editing for 1 minute.
Honestly, sometimes it's a few days, honestly. Yeah.
Actual working hours, maybe 3 to 5 hours.
Yeah, but actual working hours, probably more. It's probably like 5 to 7 hours, honestly, because we do a lot of B-roll. There's a difference between travel YouTubers who are daily life vlogger travels, where they just press play and they just do whatever they do, and that's how they say.
Not much of editing.
We have more of a show vibe to our channel versus a daily life vibe. So it's a lot more work because we have to do the B-rolls and do the cuts, A-cuts, and edits. So it's a lot more work actually than just. I actually told her the other day, I'm like, how can we simplify our channel a little bit more and not go over the top and just make it too, hard to do on the editing side.
But at the same time, like you said, we don't really want the daily vlog vibe. We want it to be travel, YouTube, home entertainment. Yeah. We want to create the proper show, maybe not as professional as what you see on TV, but it's easygoing and entertaining enough for you to watch it on YouTube.
Yeah.
So that's what we are aiming for.
We have, I think, like 40 episodes already.
Of Sri Lanka alone.
But I mean, just in general, like on our channel, we have like 40 episodes already, and we still haven't figured out our pocket. We're getting there and we're doing really well, but it's not about perfecting it. It's about you just start. You just have to start, and then it'll flow because, sometimes you get nervous thinking of what people might say, what people, might do, because there's a lot of trolls online. But for the most part, honestly, you get a lot of honest feedback. So you just have to start. You just have to start and put it out there.
Reactions.
And also,
you learn from it.
And you learn from it.
Yeah.
And seeing yourself, you start to see, things that you would like to improve. So it's like, you gotta jump in. You gotta jump in head first.
All right. You guys answered a question for me, which would have been, truly in this kind of media, you do get trolls. How do you deal with those trolls? And I do have one that when like Ikumi, you answered somebody one time on Instagram that my whole family said, damn, she is good. They loved how you tore someone apart because of
non-Japanese.
Oh, you must remember it, right? The non-Japanese one. Go ahead, tell us about that one. That was awesome. So of a great response.
Yeah, so the guy wrote us on our channel saying that she's not Japanese and she's like fake, like Thai or Vietnam, acting like a Japanese. I don't just some, and he was like,
wow,
100% gun ho, like she's fake. He even wrote in a few episodes saying that he can't believe that she's playing this role, and it's crazy the stuff that people write, you know. And she really came back on. You see, a lot of people, they don't engage, but since we're a newer channel, we engage when people talk crap.
We like to reply to every comment that we get.
To be honest, in the end, it all helps the algorithm. You know, all the comments, the replies, the engagement helps the algorithm. So we don't necessarily delete bad comments. So there actually have been some that we have deleted because it's too disrespectful. But for the part, we leave it up. You know, trolls are you can't avoid them in this game. You just can't. You can't. You just have to. If you're the type of person where the people's words affect you like that, you have to put it in your head that this is just some unknown person in their like mother's basement. You know, you like just alter your perception of who this person is. Like just picture some fat dude in his mom's basement, like just trolling everybody, you know, because it's unavoidable.
On the shirt.
I did reply him back. I had to say what I had to say, but like even our other audience, our followers, replied to him.
Yeah.
Not to defend me or anything, but it's just their perspective. Hey, what are you doing? Like,
yeah, that's the whole thing. The first time we saw that, and Marianne showed it to me. Well, Sierra showed it to her, and then she showed it to me. It went through the whole family, and we're like, we love this girl. she's awesome. We just love the way that you handled it with class, and truly you've set your point across, and you handled it with class, and that was a nice little balancing act you did over there. So I figured some of the listeners might really get a kick out of that, because truly you will get trolls, and you two are good looking people too. So I'm sure that they're still going to troll you about the way you look or your outfit or something ridiculous, just people have nothing else to do.
It's so unavoidable. I mean, you can find a video of kittens running around in the backyard playing with a ball of yarn and it have like 400 dislikes and people talking crap. Like, it does not matter. We realized that a long time ago. Plus, we both really don't give a damn what people think.
Thanks.
It's our life, and you just gotta live it the way you want to live it, and you gotta just acknowledge that a lot of the times people won't be on your side online. It's online. Who cares about these unknowns? Who cares?
Well, when you guys want to, if it ever happens, like where you get discouraged and you're like, I just cannot do it this week or whatever. What do you tell each other? How do you get out of those slumps?
Luckily,
we haven't had that.
Luckily, we have each other. So we kind of stay on top of each other. So we really haven't had, I think maybe, and I'm talking about we've dropped an episode every week for like 10 months now, and there's probably been only 2 weeks that we were late in our weekly daily drop, that not daily, but the day that we pick, like Thursday. So we do pretty good staying on top of each other, and it's all about getting the content in a good time. Give yourself a pocket, try to stay 2 weeks ahead, 3 weeks ahead. So when you do have lazy days, we're all human. You're going to have days that you're just not really going to feel it that much. You can be lazy because you gave yourself a pocket, but just always remember you have a deadline. You meet your damn deadline, no matter if it if it messes with your content, your quality of your content or whatever, just meet your deadline and just keep trying.
And this is what we like to do.
Yeah.
Like, we love to travel. We love to experience different cultures and, get around. And this is a fun job.
Yeah.
We consider this as business, but this is a really fun thing to do.
Yeah.
Even the editing, not just exploring and filming, but this is what we love to do. So we don't really get discouraged.
No, yeah, exactly. Like, we're documenting
our own life, which would be really interesting to see later on in life.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we do view it as a business. We don't just sit there and say, oh, this is the YouTube channel, we're posting videos, look how we're living. We view it as a business because in today's world, especially the new world we live in, post-pandemic, anything digital is just going to expand dramatically. That's why you said earlier, so many people are flocking to YouTube because they're acknowledging that we're in a new world and information is really coming a lot from YouTube nowadays.
Yeah.
So people are getting ahead of the curve. It's not too late to get on YouTube and do your thing, no matter whatever the field is, Because if you think about it, YouTube is still less than 20 years old. It's not an old platform at all. So this is a perfect time. Good pocket. Everyone's home. It's still early on. Do it. Why not?
Excellent. Any other tips that you guys have, especially since mostly my audience is going to be those that are around my age? This year I'm turning 50. Can you believe that? Your uncle's turning 50, Josh?
Nah, you're still a young man.
That's right. But they're probably in my generation, the Gen Xers, or maybe even the baby boomer generation, that they thought, man, I love this medium. I'm going to do this thing. And they've been listening to you guys and hearing your excitement and getting some tips on even what to just wear and how to shoot. So anything else you want to throw on that you want to, pass on with the audience?
Share what you love to do.
Yeah.
And our aim for our channel is to inspire people as well. We love what we're doing, but at the same time, we love for our audience to see how easy it is to travel around the world. And so that we can inspire other people to just, not just to watch our YouTube at home. And that's probably where you were born and raised in the same place, that you never had a chance to get out or have a passport. But for us, it's really to show people how easy it is to live around the world and get out of wherever you are, or maybe you feel comfortable while you are, but actually not. If you like really look into yourself.
Yeah.
That's also the wellness that's where I love to, share people the experience and inspire others.
Yeah.
So,
excellent.
that's part of it.
And I think, like you said, a lot of your listeners are in the 40s and up age group. And I can understand how going so digital could seem overwhelming because people would think, oh, I'm older, that's a young man's game. But it's not. There's so many platforms and apps and stuff out there that simplify this entire process to become a YouTuber. And it just, and always remember that YouTube is your best friend if you want to become a YouTuber, not on the money side, but actually on the learning curve side. You can find any video with people exactly in your age group that will show you from step one to being monetized and making profit, and it's like a business. It's like starting a business without all the overhead of having to buy a space and do all this, rent and all this stuff. So it's if you stick with it and you just stay consistent and you use YouTube as your learning curve and you use platforms like Skillshare.com, Canva or Prillo, the one you're using, And even on those platforms, just YouTube a video how to use those. You know, like I said, YouTube it's literally your best friend when you want to learn. So it's not a young man or young man's game. It's anybody's ball game. And if you have the drive to be consistent with your content, it's going to happen. You're going to be in a point where you're going to make money. It might not be extravagant money, or it might. You never know. But I guarantee you, if you make that leap and make that jump and you just focus on improving your quality and content, it'll happen for you. Absolutely.
Thank you, guys. It's been really awesome having you guys on the show and teaching us a little bit about the behind the scenes with YouTube. So thanks.
We're glad to be a part of this. This is actually cool, hanging out with Ankh. And make sure subscribers like and subscribe to Primus Effect on YouTube.
Yeah, that was the next thing I was going to say is how do they reach it? So Primus Effect on YouTube, and that's PrimusEffect, Primus Effect on YouTube, and then same at Primus Effect on Instagram as well, right?
Yep, and on Facebook as well.
Okay. All right, so there you go. You got it. Those are the two wonderful people from the Primus Effect right there.
Thank you guys for having us. This was a pleasure.
Welcome back. I hope you guys enjoyed that episode that we had with Josh and Ikumi. I really, really had fun talking to them. It was great catching up with my nephew. It's been a while since we've been able to catch up, especially in Sri Lanka, but now he's in Albania with the rest of my family. So what we're going to do is probably keep in touch with them a little bit more, that they have better internet services. What I really wanted to just really think about is some of the things that they've mentioned with the video and audio and all that stuff. It's really good to fine-tune even your very raw video footage so that other people can they won't get turned off by the sound or the view of your actual channel to keep you guys going. So it's really good. I've got the full episode here, the video broadcast on safetyconsultant.tv. So you can sign up for safetyconsultant.tv if you want to see the video version of this podcast. And it's actually the raw footage, so it's uncut. We just have at it. So we will let you guys see the raw footage as well. But either way, you have to go to safetyconsultant.tv. And just for my listeners and students of mine, actually, we're going to have a code in there that says consultant, CONSULTANT, consultant. So use the code consultant, and instead of 3 days free trial, you're going to get 30 days. So this is only for my podcast listeners and students. And I tell my students about this too, so that they could have a chance to go on a little bit more with the training. So safetyconsultant.tv, sign up for today. You can hear the rest of this interview with Josh and Ikumi. So with that, I want to thank everybody for listening. I will be back with you next Monday. As you can tell by the background noise, I am out on location. I'll be back in the studio next week. So have a great rest of your day, and go get them.
This episode has been powered by Safety FM.